12 years ago, my life ended. One horrific night, my parents were murdered, their bodies dumped in the wilderness. My older sister, Sabrina, was left with a brain injury that stole all her memories. And I, Evelyn, vanished. The man responsible for it all, a trusted family friend named Nathan Grant, walked away with everything. He even took my sister, marrying her and positioning himself as her devoted caretaker while he plotted to steal our family's inheritance. He thought he had erased us. He was wrong. For 12 years, I fueled my life with a single purpose: revenge. I studied medicine, mastering both modern science and traditional remedies. I underwent plastic surgery, erasing the face of Evelyn and creating a new one. Helena Vaughn, a brilliant doctor. And now, I was standing at the gates of the Grant family villa, not as a victim, but as a predator disguised as a healer. I was applying to be the new family doctor for Nathan's poor, sick wife, my sister. The interview was a test. Nathan had gathered a group of top medical professionals. "My wife has lost her memory and suffers from depression," he announced. Then, his eyes turned cold. "I've put a harmless poison in all of your water," he said with a cruel smile. "The antidote is hidden among these herbs. This is your first challenge." Panic erupted. I remained calm. I recognized the poison instantly: headache flowers. I calmly picked a sprig of aconite, another deadly poison. Alone, they were lethal. But mixed together, they canceled each other out. I swallowed the aconite without hesitation. Nathan was impressed. I had passed the first test. I was in. As I settled into the grand, cold villa, I saw my sister for the first time in over a decade. Sabrina was a ghost, wandering the halls with vacant eyes, completely under Nathan's control. My heart ached, but I had to hide it. Nathan was a paranoid monster, and he watched my every move. My first priority was to reach Sabrina. He introduced me to her as Dr. Vaughn. The moment she saw me, her eyes, usually so empty, held a flicker of confusion. "You're a family doctor, and you're already in my husband's bedroom?" she asked, her voice sharp. I played my part, but I looked for openings. One afternoon, I found her alone in the study. As I spoke to her, I idly began to play a finger riddle game our father had taught us as children. "This is a house. This is a puppy. This is a knife." Sabrina froze. "Why? Why do those moves look so familiar?" she whispered. It was working. A crack had appeared in the wall of her memory. But just as quickly, Nathan entered the room, shattering the fragile connection. His suspicion of me grew. He saw the flicker of recognition in Sabrina's eyes. He confided in his henchman, Frank, not knowing I was listening via a bug I had planted. "I suspect this Dr. Vaughn. His plan to test me was diabolical. He forced me to brew a new, lethal medicine for Sabrina. You want to take her place, don't you?" he sneered. "In the Grant family, you're just my dog. If I tell you to bite, you bite." I knew this was the ultimate test. When I brought the medicine to Sabrina, my hands trembled. As Nathan watched, I pretended to stumble, knocking the bowl from her hands. "The medicine is just too bitter," I cried, acting as if I couldn't bear to see her suffer. But Nathan saw something else. He noticed that when I picked up the hot, shattered pieces, I pinched my other hand with 3 fingers to dull the pain. A habit our mother had taught both of us. A habit he had seen Sabrina do 1,000 times. "Maybe you really are long-lost sisters," he said, his voice dangerously soft. He was getting desperate. His company was secretly bleeding money and he needed our inheritance. He had Frank kidnap us both, taking us to the abandoned villa where our parents were murdered, hoping the trauma would trigger Sabrina's memory and expose my identity. As masked men held us at gunpoint, I knew Nathan was watching. As the fake gunman charged, I shoved Sabrina towards the exit. "Run, sis," I screamed, using the word for the first time. I let the man grab me, fighting him off just enough to look like a heroic doctor, not a loving sister. From his hiding spot, Nathan gave the order. "She's Evelyn. Kill her." But as the man raised his gun, Sabrina screamed, "No, it was you." She pointed at me. "I saw it. You snuck into my room. You messed with my husband's laptop. You're trying to frame him." It was a brilliant, desperate gamble. She was pretending her memory had returned but was pinning everything on me. It was so convincing that it planted a seed of doubt in Nathan's mind. He called off the attack. "We've been played," he snarled. "Helena isn't her sister." He had bought it. Back in the safety of our car, Sabrina pretended to need a massage. She laid her head in my lap and away from prying eyes. Her fingers tapped out a message in Morse code on my leg. "BCREFUL. DONTATTHEMEDS. We were now allies. Our revenge plan had officially begun. We played Nathan's game better than he could. I made myself indispensable to him, saving him from a business disaster. Sabrina played the part of the jealous, unstable wife, creating chaos while we secretly plotted. We kept him off balance, confused, and increasingly reliant on me. The final act was set for the night he was to be crowned chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. It was his moment of ultimate triumph, the perfect stage for his ultimate downfall. He brought a woman he hired to pretend to be me, Evelyn, on stage. But I had already replaced the doctored DNA report Nathan prepared with the real one. As the results were displayed on the giant screen for everyone to see, it read, "Nitrogen monoxide match." The room erupted, but that was just the beginning. A new video started playing on the screen. It was a hidden camera recording of the fake Evelyn, admitting everything. "The Lynn inheritance is worth more than enough to cover the losses of Nathan's company." Her voice echoed. "He said once that sickly wife of his kicks the bucket. I'll be the only Mrs. Grant." Then, another recording played, this one of Frank, Nathan's own henchman, detailing Nathan's financial crimes, his deception, and his plan to murder his wife. His empire crumbled in minutes. His partners canceled their deals. The chamber rescinded his chairmanship. He was publicly humiliated, his name destroyed. As security dragged him away, he looked at me with pure hatred. He didn't know who I was, but he knew I was the one who had orchestrated it all. But public humiliation wasn't enough. The next day, I called him, disguising my voice. "I am Evelyn Lynn," I said. "Let my sister go, and I'll change the will. Everything will go to you." Greed was his ultimate weakness. He agreed immediately. We met at the old villa. He brought Sabrina, drugged and unconscious. I brought the legal documents. The lawyer, who was in on my plan, confirmed the details. Nathan signed his name with a triumphant flourish. The money was wired to his account. He thought he had won. "I've received the money," he said, smiling. "Now, let me introduce you to an old acquaintance. He's the one who killed your parents 12 years ago." He gestured to Frank, expecting me to be horrified, but I just smiled. "Sorry, Nathan," Frank said, not moving. "I only take orders from Evelyn." The color drained from Nathan's face. He turned to me, his eyes wide with disbelief. "This smell," he stammered, recognizing the subtle scent of a medicinal oil I wore. "Dr. Vaughn, you." "That's right, Nathan," I said, my voice finally my own. "It's me, Evelyn." He lunged at me, but it was too late. He stumbled, his body suddenly weak. When did you poison me?" he choked out. "Take a guess, Nathan," I said, holding up the phone which had recorded his every confession. "The police will be here any minute. They'll make sure you get what you deserve. Mom, Dad, sister, I finally avenged you. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I lost my memory for so many years. Evelyn carried this grudge for 12 years. I haven't been a good sister, but from now on, I'll take care of her. I promise. Sis, you gave me a second chance at life. You'll always be a good sister. You always were, and you still are." What a masterclass in revenge. If this story gave you chills, do us a favor and hit that like button. Let us know in the comments what was the most satisfying part of Nathan's downfall. And of course, subscribe for more incredible stories of justice being served.